exercise yesterday? Did you do tongue scraping and swishing? Who else got swish?
Without
Karen and I have. And then who did, what else did we do? Oh, neti pot. Anyone neti?
I did neti this morning.
Yeah.
I did.
Alright.
I will after.
So, well, continuing with in the classic tradition, no music. And with the exception of my cueing and any questions you might have along the way, we're focusing inward. So this morning, we will focus on some of what we did yesterday, but principally on the floor series. We will begin standing. So come on up to standing. Big toes, ankles together, center of your mat. If you need to stand hip widths apart, that is fine, or shoulder widths, especially if one was pregnant, that's what you would do. And you can allow the eyes to close and the arms to relax down to the side and the hands to orient themselves, palms facing forwards or perhaps slightly inwards. You know, you decide what feels right for your shoulders. And begin the natural, deep, expansive belly breath from the tailbone, from the belly up, the back, up the sides, up through the chest, over the crown, to the third eye. Exhaling down the front as you draw navel into spine. And that's the circuit, the elliptical movement of the breath. Noticing the quality of the breath this morning. Asking yourself, what's happening now? What are you aware of? Throughout class and throughout life and throughout yoga, the emphasis is on becoming aware of the physical plane, mental plane, emotional plane, ultimately the spiritual plane. So if you can keep the eyes closed, if that works for you. If not, soft gaze, looking forwards and down. We're going to take a nice big inhale and slowly begin the journey of the arms flowing up from the sides. Slowly they're coming up. We're going to work into Utthita Tadasana, extended mountain. Perhaps you think of yourself as a mountain in the Himalayas. Rising steadily upwards, lengthening upwards. So nice. Stretching up now. Deep belly breath. And today we're going to interlace the fingers, much as we do in half moon. We're not doing half moon, but this is still extended mountain. But you might see the similarities as postures build on one another. So we have the interlaced fingers, index fingers pointing to the sky. Now we are very strong, tall mountains. The weights in the heels engage the quads and the glutes. And allow yourself to push the hips a bit forwards. Keep the chin parallel with the floor, the arms with the ears. Inhale as you lengthen up to the heavens. And on the exhale, you root down into Mother Earth. Allow for the distinct breath, that expansiveness, and as I said yesterday, perhaps the heaviness of the breath. Ujjayi breath, the sound of the sea. It's layered over Dirgha breath. Continuing to stretch upwards, arms with ears. Press the hips a bit forwards. Weight is in the heels. And since we typically build from the ground up, in cueing, it's usually helpful to start from the feet, if we are on the feet. So in this case, again, let me do it again. Weight is in the heels. You can pick the toes up, then gently set them down. Are the quads engaged? And the glutes? because this is a back bend. Drawing up from the belly, up the sides, up the back, with the breath through the chest, over the crown to the third eye, the arms long and straight as they reach for the heavens, arms with ears. Seal up the palms, the perimeter around the hands. There'll be a gap in the center, but you can't see that. You can feel it. And on the exhale, the flow downwards from the byway point, the roof of the mouth. Third eye down to the chest, to the belly as navel draws to spine, as hara comes in to the spinal column. And back to the tailbone, maybe even the feet. And continuing with that breath. Continuing to press the hips forward. So nice, strong, long arms. Arms are straight. Focusing inward. So when the mind begins to wander, come back to the breath, come back to the third eye. If it helps you to have a visual, that visual could be this little bead of light. And on the inhale, it begins from the tailbone, maybe even the feet, and flows upwards, up the back, up the sides. The color of the bead of light is red from the root chakra. And it's going to continue up over the crown to the third eye, where it turns white. And then it flows down the front of the chest, back to the tailbone, to the feet, changing to red. So maybe that helps. Weights in the heels, quads are engaged, glutes are engaged, lengthening up through the spine, pressing hips forwards, a nice arc in the back. Give yourself as a dragon, as a cobra. Perhaps you've gotten up for your morning swim as the dragon. Maybe there was the opportunity as the cobra to just swirl up from your nest or your basket, who knows. The gleaming chest, the deep expansiveness of the breath, that Darth Vader breath, that sound of the sea. Pull up the back on the inhale, up the sides, through and around every rib. All the way up over the crown to the third eye. And notice what's coming up. If you can come back to the breath when the mind wanders. If you can allow for the focus to be on the breath. If you're feeling fatigued, be with this. Press the hips a bit more forwards. Bring the arms back with the ears. Each inhale, you lengthen a little more. And each exhale, you soften and draw navel to spine. Not losing the integrity of the movement. And slowly now, slowly inhale up. Exhale, separating the hands, palms facing each other. And then on the next exhale, begin the journey downward, hinging from the hips, arms with ears, just hinging slowly. Slowly hinging down, arms with ears in front, just hinging from your hips. Eyes still closed if you can. Slowly coming down. So nice, so nice. Abdominals engaged, protects the sacral sacrolumbar spine. Now maybe you want the hands to come to the legs to support yourself, as Ali was demonstrating yesterday. Let the head hang. Maybe the hands have come to the floor, but right now, please keep the legs straight. So you find what is your perfect this morning. Maybe the hands are resting on the thighs. Maybe they're resting on the shins. Maybe you're holding opposite elbows. Some of you may be dangling like a jellyfish bobbing along in the ocean. Some of you may have straight legs and the hands have come to the floor or to the earth. But we still have the same deep expansive belly breath. So we first want to begin once again with the feet and the legs. Foundation. So here, shift the weight forwards into the balls of the feet. Straighten the legs. Keep breathing deeply, hinging from the hips. The neck and the head are relaxed. The arms are dangling, or perhaps the hands are resting on your legs for a little support. If you have straight legs and the hands are on the floor, you can bend the elbows towards the sides of the room. So we're in Uttanasana, half full, deep, expansive belly breath. Can you hear and feel the sea in your breath? Or Darth Vader, if you're particularly oriented to Star Wars. Equalizing the length of inhales and exhales. Weights in the balls of the feet. Head and neck are hanging. Straightening the legs. Even if they start to wobble, breathe deep. Even if they start to shake, breathe deep. Continue with the posture. Now, just as we came into this very slowly, we're going to bring the arms with ears. Palms can face forwards or in towards one another, fingers spread apart, and slowly come up, flat spine, inhaling up, inhaling up, inhaling up. Eyes still closed if you can, very nice, arms with ears, so they're in front of you, then they're coming up. All right, stretch up, very nice, Amy, take it slow. Lengthening up to the heavens, stretch up, stretch up. If you want the back bend, engage your glutes for a moment, push the hips more forwards, open the chest, like that cobra, that dragon. Inhale back up, nice and tall. Now slowly let the arms float out and down to the sides. Breathing deeply as they flow out and down. Slowly. This is control. What are we talking about? We can't control anything, really, right? Yes, but we can control our bodies to some degree. Now, once the arms have come to the side, feel the imprint of mountain pose this morning. Oh, what do you feel like? What has changed for you? Now we'll continue with our pranayams, interlacing the fingers at the waist, pressing the palms down towards the earth. If eyes can be closed, keep them closed. If not, you can open them. but soft gaze. Inhales, we're going to raise the arms as they press forwards up to the heavens. Palms facing out away from you. Inhaling, inhaling. You can count the head back here if you like. And look up, even with the eyes closed. Stretching up, stretching up. Then bringing the hands to prayer, and we begin the journey downwards through the midline, exhaling. Hinging at the hips, reinterlacing fingers at waist, pressing down to the floor, legs are straight, legs are straight. Relax the head and the neck. So you go down as far as you can with straight legs. And then you begin inhaling as you journey up. Now you're finding your own cadence here. And that's the equalization. The breath dictates it. Will have bearing on the rate that you're doing it. And the body will indicate to you, coming down with hands in prayer when you're ready on the exhale. The body will indicate how far down you can go when you hinge from the hips. Reinterlacing fingers at waist. Hinging, pressing down, relax the head and the neck. And begin inhaling up.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Jules, ask the question.
When we're coming back up, coming back up, or bending forward with our legs straight, how do we keep the pressure off of our back?
Engage your abdominal core. So very good question. So Jules asked, how do we reduce the pressure in the lumbar sacral spine? You draw your navel to your spine.
Okay. Thank you.
So the more you can practice that, so it's just, you can just, don't come down so far, but practice drawing navel to spine. You're hinging, 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 hinging. And that is what we do on any forward bend. We want to draw navel to spine. And the beauty of this is we are exhaling as we flow down, so naturally we should be drawing navel to spine anyway. And that will help to strengthen and open up. Strengthen the belly and open up space in that lumbar sacral spine. So everybody do 2 more. We'll finish with the hands at heart center. Eyes closed when you return to heart center, if they happen to be open now. Set the shoulders down and back, so you could just raise them up and then gently set them down and back. Standing tall, the weight in the heels, pick the toes up, set them down. What are you aware of right now? Think of those 4 planes. We don't judge, all we are is paying attention to what's happening now. Maybe it's you have an itch in your nose. Or maybe it's my right leg feels tight. I don't know. Maybe it's I'm annoyed with having to get up so early. Or maybe it's I want to laugh. Or maybe it's, wow, I feel divinity inside of me right now. Who knows? Be aware. We're going to transition momentarily to our sun and moon salute, as we did yesterday. And then we will move to the floor series. So let yourself experience these to the fullest you can in the moment. So as you're ready, inhale deeply, lengthen through the crown. If you'd like to open your eyes, feel free. We're slowly going to forwards fold, coming down to our mat. And you can walk the hands forwards and step the feet back and come into downward facing dog, pedaling it out. So the feet, again, as I said yesterday, in the Hatha practice, the sun and the moon practice, this strong physical practice, balancing out solar and lunar energies, the feet might be together, they might be apart. This depends upon the lineage, so you choose what you like. But they don't go wider than your hips, or they are together. Head is relaxed, neck is relaxed. So let's build the foundation again. So let's start with the hands. Now, Jules, I think you asked yesterday what you do for the wrists. So here again, you can have strong hands as I'm demonstrating right now. See, I can do this just like this. I've made fists. And I'm doing exactly what everyone else is doing, and I don't have any issues with my wrists now. But you're trying to get heels to floor. So we've come up from the hands, the weights in the pads of the hands, or fists, up through the arms are straight. The head and neck are relaxed. The sacrum is the highest point here, your bottom. You're trying to get heels to floor. So right now we're bending one leg at a time, but maybe you want to try to straighten both legs at the same time and send heels down. Now we're going to shift forward into plank. So take an inhale, push forward from the feet, come forward, shoulders over wrists. Adjust your legs if you need to. Shoulders over wrists. Come to the knees if that's what you require, okay? So lower to the knees. Now engage your core. Zip up your core from tailbone all the way up to the chest. And we'll lower down. Eye of the elbow straight ahead. Chaturanga. Inhale back up. Chaturanga. Keep the spine in alignment. Inhale with the head up. Forward facing dog. Tops the feet to the floor. You can lower the feet down. The legs down. Engage the glutes wherever you are. You can keep the legs up as I'm doing. So if the legs are down, you will have a deeper back bend. Glutes engaged. If you have the legs up, you will have a stronger strengthening piece through the core. So, upward facing dog, or Urdhva Mukha Savasana. Draw the shoulders away from the ears, open the chest. Nice adjustment there. Take an inhale, curl the toes under, back into down dog. So Beth just adjusted. She came down to her forearms. And in a sense, that can be characterized as a baby cobra or a sphinx. Pedaling it out again, working heels to floor. So these are all aspects that we will talk about in clinic. How do we modify? When do we modify? Left heel to floor, inhale, extend right leg. And we'll swing right foot all the way through up to right hand. Help it out if you need to. Reach behind the calf and go for knee over ankle. Excellent. Straighten the back leg. Now some of you may need to stay on the knee maybe. We're doing Anjaneyasana, crescent lunge. If you're ready, inhale, come up with chest, arms, hands, and head. Now the key is to be on the back toes. Up you come. Good. Lengthening. And then rounding back. Head goes back, arms with ears. So knee is over ankle with the front leg. That's so important. Knee over ankle. And then you're rounding backwards. Excellent. Straightening the back leg. Some of you think about rising chest to sky. That will help you. Head back, arms with ears. Deep belly breath. Now this might feel really lovely this morning. Stretch the arms up higher. Let them go back more. Look back more. Same deep yogic breath. Dirgha breath with Ujjayi layered over it perhaps. Inhaling up, nice and tall, looking forward. On the exhale, we'll lower hands down, either side of the foot. Looking forward, step it up, left meets right. Feet together. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, half lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, lower down. Uttanasana. And then for this one, let's take a breath and reverse swan dive up. Tummy in, reverse swan dive. All right, excellent. Draw hands down to heart center on the exhale. And that's our first half. Very nice. Inhale, sweep arms back up. Exhale, swan dive down, tummy in. So here, Jules, tummy in, protects the spine. We'll step back left foot, step back right. So notice we didn't do the half folds to this time. Cut it out. Nice deep breath. Maybe pressing heels to floor now. Making fists, perhaps, for your wrists. Relax the head and the neck. See if you can straighten the legs. So let's all try to press heels down and straighten the legs. So we'll engage the root, walk, send the sacrum towards the back of your mats. Pick your toes up. And then from here, inhales forward into plank, shoulders over wrists, zip up the core, keep the long spine, and chaturanga. Inhale back up, eye the elbow straight ahead, chaturanga. So keep those, so sissy elbows into sides. That's it, perfect. Don't even have to come down more than an inch or two. And then over time, you'll see the super strength develop in your triceps. Now we're looking up to the heavens. If it bothers the neck, you can look straight ahead or forwards and down. Just try not to tuck the chin. Glutes engaged, very important. So here again, Jules, glutes engaged on this one because that will also protect sacral lumbar spine. Good, Amy. Nice, Jen. That's it. Done. Take an inhale, curl the toes under, back into downward dog. Pedal it out. Deep breath. Your sound of sea breath, Darth Vader breath, deep yogic breath. And then right heel to floor. Inhale, extend the left leg behind you. Swing the left foot all the way up to meet the left hand, knee over ankle. So knee over ankle, very important. And on the back toes, inhale, come up. Now, if anyone has to come to the knee, come to the knee. The right knee. First, find yourself stretching up to the heavens. Then rounding back. Head and arms go back. Straighten the back leg. Engage those quads. Straighten the arms. Reach up and round back. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Deep. You can still feel the belly expand here, even on the back bend, right? Draw the breath up the back, up the sides, over the crown, for the third eye. Exhale down the front as navel draws the spine. Here again, you can imagine, maybe not even imagine, maybe you see yourself right now as the dragon or the cobra with this gleaming chest. Inhaling up, nice and tall. Exhale, slowly lowering hands to floor. Looking forwards, inhale, step up, right meets left. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, lower down. Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. And as you're ready, big breath, reverse swan dive up, inhaling. Exhaling, hands will bring to heart center. So I didn't take us through the back bend that time, but if you wanted it, you perhaps gave it to yourself. Now we'll move on to our Namaskar. Namaskar Parsvakonasana. Prayer twisting lunge. So as we're ready here, let's inhale from heart center up to the heavens. And this time, separate the hands. Exhale, forwards fold, nice and slow. Hinging from the hips, tummy in, tummy in. Hands will come down to the floor. We'll step back right foot, step back left. Walking it out, pedaling it out, or just pressing heels to floor, whatever is appropriate for you. Breathing deeply. Then trying to get both heels down, pick your toes up, send the sacrum back. Excellent, Verhagen. As you're ready, inhale, pushing forward into plank, step up the core, lower to the knees if you need to. Shoulders over wrists, eye of the elbow straight ahead, so elbows to ribcage, chaturanga, inhale back up, even if you only come down an inch. Chaturanga, inhale, upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha, Savasana. That's it. Glutes engaged, very important here. Shoulders away from ears, open the chest. Nice. Sit, Amy, good. Sit, Sachavani. And take an inhale, curl the toes under, push back into downward facing dog. Pedal it out a few times. Notice what you are aware of right now. Perhaps you feel some heat building. Maybe there's that little bit of moisture on the brow that Sachavani spoke about in Ayurveda talk. That you've reached the perfect point in your practice. Left heel to floor, inhale, extend right leg behind you, and swing right foot up to meet right hand. Help it out if you need to. Knee over ankle. Good. So we're on the back toes. Inhale, bring the hands up to heart center. Finding the length through the crown. Now when you are ready, on the exhale, next exhale, you can take left elbow outside of right knee. Look at the floor initially, find your stability and balance. And if anybody ever has to come to the left knee, you lower down. But first you find your stability, looking at the floor. Try to stack the shoulders right over left. Press the hands together. Right now I'm keeping it very simple. There's more we can do, but let's just focus on the cues. So we're stacking shoulders and elbows as best we can. Now since the spine likes to go where the eyes travel, if you want to look to the side of the room, feel free. If you don't lose your balance, keep twisting the spine. Looking up to the sky perhaps now. Breathing deeply. And you may hold it here. And breathe and keep twisting from the tailbone all the way up to the crown of the head. Nice spiral fascial twist. Now for those of you who want to try twisting dragon, you can inhale and raise right arm up, left arm down. Arms stay on the outside of the right leg. Spread fingers apart. Twist. Looking up. You can still do this even if you're looking down. Hands back to prayer. And inhale, come to heart center. Lengthen up through the crown. And lower hands down. And we'll step it up, left meets right. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. And let's reverse swan dive up out of this one. Tummy in. All the way up. Hands together, draw them down to heart center. Let's lower them to the sides for a moment. And just feel back to mountain pose. Feel the imprint of the first half. What are you aware of? Allowing for a little integration in between. On the next inhale, hands back to heart center. And forwards fold, separating the hands, coming down. So I'm just transitioning a little different with some of these. We'll step back left foot, step back right. But to show you how we can modify the movements between postures. so we don't become used to exactly the same. It can't be the same, right? Everything changes. We're now in a new moment. We're now in a new moment. We're now in a new moment. But how aware are you with each of these new moments? Heels to floor, pick the toes up, press the heels down, send the sacrum back. Breathing deeply, Darth Vader, sound of sea. Expansive Dirga breath. Inhales forward into plank, lower to the knees if you need to, shoulders over wrists, zip up the core. Chaturanga, inhale up. That's it, sissy, chaturanga, well done. Upward facing dog, good Dawn. Tops of the feet to the floor, this will stretch the shins in the front of the legs. Open the chest, deep breath. Glutes engaged, so important here on these back bends, glutes engaged. You don't have to squeeze, you don't want to overdo it, no hard ass. But you do want to engage them.
That's what she said.
Now see, remember what the difference between exercise and yoga from yesterday? Looking good or being good, right? All right, curl the toes under, inhale, exhale, push back into downward dog. The reality is in yoga, you get both. Exercise, you only get one. All right, other side. Take a breath, right heel to floor, inhale, extend left leg, and swing on the exhale, left leg through. Helping it out, knee over ankle. Back leg is straight, but if you need to come to the knee, come to the knee. Inhale, come up, hands to heart center. Lengthening up to the crown, so nice. Inhaling, and on the exhale, right elbow outside of left knee. Find your twist. Just look at the floor initially. Find your stability. Inhale as you lengthen forwards to the crown. Exhale as you twist. Twisting from the tailbone up. Stacking shoulders and elbows as best you can. Press the hands together. Deep, expansive belly breath. Keep going, twisting. Maybe you begin to look to the sides now and up to the sky. Slowly. Then if you're ready to flow into twisting dragon, inhale left arm up, right arm down. That's it, Vahagan is open. Breathe. Keep, there you go. You fall out, you smile, you laugh. Good Dawn. Sit, Beth. We're working on keeping the arm on the outside of the left leg here. That will help you to open the chest. It's leverage, right? Spread the fingers apart. Hands back to prayer. Inhale back up. Find your strength. Use your core. Lower hands to floor. Step it up. Right knee's left. Inhale, half lift. I'm waiting for Jen to say my thighs are burning. Lower down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, lower down. And when you're ready, let's reverse one dive up. We've done 2 sun salutes, Surya Namaskars. Give yourself a back bend if it calls to you. Glutes engage. And inhale up wherever you are. Exhale, let's draw the hands down through heart center. Pause momentarily at heart center. And arms to the sides. So moon salute next. Chandra Namaskar. And then we move on. But notice what you are aware of right now. The mind is wandering, come back to the breath and the third eye. As you're ready, big breath, inhale. Let's sweep the arms up from the sides, up to the heavens. Exhale, forwards fold from the hips. Arms with ears, coming down slowly, fingers separated. Excellent. Fantastic. Hands to floor shins. Let's take the half lift here. Why not? Inhale, raise up. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, lower down. Step it back right, step it back left. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Savasana. Pedaling it out. Breathing. Now pressing both heels down, straighten the legs as much as you can, send the sacrum back. Spread those fingers apart in front, index fingers pointing forwards. Make fists if that's your preference. What works for your wrists? And here again, take an inhale, push forward from the toes into plank, Dandasana, shoulders over wrists, step up the core. Eye of the elbow, straight ahead. Chaturanga, inhale up. Chaturanga, inhale, upward facing dog, glutes engage. We won't hold this so long. Shoulders away from ears. Inhale, and on the next exhale, push back. Push back into downward facing dog. See, wasn't that nice?
Well, I'm starting to not feel as sore.
But notice when you really start to get into these, what you feel by holding. So as we're ready, left heel to floor, inhale, extend right leg behind you, extend the toes and the leg, swing right foot up to meet right hand, knee over ankle. So that's just like before. Lower left knee down, top of the foot to the floor. The top of the foot to the floor stabilizes more the posture. Inhale as we come up with arms, chest, hands, head. Rounding backwards. So you can point tailbone down, press your sacrum a bit forwards. Deepen the experience. Notice how the glutes will automatically engage on the left side. Rounding back, some of you might say, oh, I want to open my wings, do so. Maybe you want to just hold them open. Maybe you want to raise them up and open them again. Figure out what works for you here. We're opening chest. Deep breath. Getting rid of any old stale air in the lower lobes of the lungs. Feel the heart. And you have that visceral experience with it right now. Keep going. So this is what helps us in a world where we sit at computers and behind steering wheels so much of the time. These are opportunities to really open, to round backwards. Inhaling up with the arms again. And then the head and the torso. Exhale, slowly lowering down. Curling the back toes under, popping up the knee, looking forward, step it up, left meets right. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Let's bring arms with ears, separate palms. Inhale, come up slowly, flat spine, neutral spine. Legs are straight. Inhaling up, feel free to give yourself the back bend again, if you like. Otherwise, just lengthen to the heavens. And exhale, let arms float out and down to the side slowly. Slowly with control. Breathing as they do come down. One more half. What are you aware of now? Back to Tadasana. Inhale as we bring the arms up slowly, coming up from the sides. Lengthening up to the heavens. And on the exhale, begin the journey downwards, hinging from the hips. And here again, you can have palms face each other or face forward. That is your choice. But you're breathing as you come down slowly, slowly. So for our virtual people, Aubrey, Grace, Karen, hope you're enjoying it. All the way down. Inhales, half lift again. Exhales down. Inhales, half lift. Exhales down. Step it back left, step it back right. Back into Adho Mukha Savasana, pedaling it out. So let's check in with our posture, our alignment. Weights in the pads of the hands, fingers spread apart. Index fingers pointing forwards to the top of your mat. Neck and head are relaxed. Send the sacrum back. Pick the toes up. Press heels to floor. Straighten the legs, unless of course you're bending one at a time. Deep belly breath. And from here, inhales, push forward from the toes, bring shoulders over wrists, zip up the core. Eye of the elbow straight ahead. Come down from Dandasana to Chaturanga. Inhale, back up. And Chaturanga, inhale, Urdhva Mukha Savasana. Glutes engage. Tops of the feet to the floor, open the chest. Beautiful. Notice what you are aware of now. Deep belly breath. And inhale, exhale. Rolling toes under, pushing back into downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Savasana, pedaling it out. Or pressing heels to floor. And right heel down, inhale, extend left leg, point toes, swing left foot up to meet left hand. Knee over ankle, lowering right knee to floor. Top of the foot to the floor. Inhale, come up, chest, arms, hands, and head. And just as before, up and over. Pressing forwards a bit. Glutes engaging right side. Opening your wings when you feel you want to. If you want to, you don't have to. But head back, arms with ears. See what works for you. What did you do on the other side? We're balancing out solar and lunar energies, so we typically want to try to do what we did on the other side, on this side. And the same deep breath, drawing the breath up the back, up the sides, over the crown to the third eye. Exhaling down the front. Can you sit the tailbone or point it down a little more, lower it a little more, press the hips forwards a little more. Open the chest a little more. Empty the lower recesses of the lungs a little more. This is one of the things as teachers and practitioners as well. It's really important to balance out right and left sides. In the field, when you go around, most teachers focus on the right side and cheat the left oftentimes. So just becoming aware. Inhale, slowly bringing arms back up. And then on the next inhale, torso. Letting hands come down to the floor, curling the back, toes under, raising the knee, looking forward, stepping it up, right meets left. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, lower down. And as you're ready, big breath, reverse one dive up. Give yourself a back bend if it calls to you, glutes engage, or just stretch up to the heavens. Taking full rounds of breath. Inhaling back up. Hands down to heart center.
to the sides. Soften in the face, soften in the shoulders, soften in the hips. Allow yourself to integrate. Sun and moon salutes. So our first part of the practice, mountain pose, and our pranayama with the hands interlaced, our life force breathing, that was 10 minutes. We spent 30 minutes on the sun and moon salute. And as I said yesterday, if you just did a beginning and sun and moon salutes every day, that might be all you need. But notice what you are aware of right now. Could you sit and begin your pranayama and then meditation practice? Or do you still have some kinks to work out of the body? So now, slowly, tummy in, begin to forwards fold. Just hinging, coming down, slowly coming down. Hinging all the way down, and then once you're there, you're going to come down onto your knees and your hands into tabletop. Now, I always love the name that has been given to this in Sanskrit, Varmanasana. So, for those of you that are used to hanging out in bars, this should be an easy one to remember. So, Varmanasana. Now, what's key here in Varmanasana is that we get the eye of the elbow pointing straight ahead, okay? So you can just think about this from our anatomy yesterday. Externally rotate the elbows, right? The forearms, they'll just kind of twist, and then you have this nice little stance. And if you have your sheet handy and you want to look at it, so you say, oh, what's coming up? So from here in tabletop, the key is that we have the eye of the elbow straight ahead, we have shoulders over wrists, and we have our hips over our knees. Tops of the feet to the floor. Some people will say curl the toes under. So you might see, so you can play with this. Do you like the tops of the feet to the floor, or do you want to curl the toes under? Depends upon, again, lineage, who's teaching. So maybe you play with curls toed under? No, toes curled under, yes. And then maybe you want to try tops of the feet to the floor. See what works for you. So from here, we're going to go into cats and cows. So take a big inhale. And we'll just begin neutral. Exhale, round into cat. So let your spine press down to the hands and arc the back upwards. Draw navel to spine. Holding the arm. Keep pressing, keep pressing. Can you still exhale more? And then hold your arm. Maybe cough. Inhale now, lowering belly down. And looking up to the sky. Holding the air in, belly's expanded. So for those of you that have sensitivities, we work with this, we see where we go. Exhale, back into cat. Talk about that in clinic. But you will modify, this is making the spine so nice and loose. Inhale, clear, affects your brain. Inhale as we look up for cow. Exhale back into cat. So you can find your own rhythm now. See if maybe you pause here in Majurasana, your cat. And then when you're ready to inhale, into your Bitalasana, cow. Pausing at the end on the inhale. And then moving. So you're looking for that juicy point, right? Where it's like, oh, this feels so nice on my internal organs, my spine. And the same deep yogic breath. And you see, sometimes when we get to such deep breaths, we like, oh, all those extra toxins coming out, we want to cough. So So what's nice about this posture is we can do this for a few minutes. We can hold in between. We can move at a little bit faster rate, but we don't want to force the breath nor the movement. So on the next cow, do one more set, and when you finish coming to your final cow, inhaling up, lowering belly down, belly relax. Excellent. Now we'll come back to neutral, and we're slowly going to make our way down to our mat, lying on our bellies. So here, bring your feet and legs together. Lay down, chin to your mat, and the arms reach your side of your torso and head. Now, what is important here is that we want the wrists just slightly forwards of the shoulders. So some of you were doing a version of this earlier when we were modifying from the upward dogs, the upward facing dogs. So this is Sphinx pose, fingers spread apart. So if you've ever been to Cairo, Egypt, maybe you've seen the Sphinx in real life. But we're going to take a breath, legs are squeezed together. Inhales, press into the floor. We press into the floor with the arms, the feet, the knees will pop up. The legs are squeezing together. Glutes engaged. So Jewel is very important. Engage those glutes. Inhale, press into the floor. Exhale, holding the posture, and you keep doing that. Inhales, lengthening. Exhale, still stretching. So inhales, lengthening, like forwards and up. Exhale, squeeze a little tighter. Press into the floor a little more. Find your perfect breath. Now you may say, oh, we're on the floor. Why is this so hard? Because we're working a lot of muscles. And on the exhale, slowly lowering down. Pushing yourself back into child's pose. Sit back into child's pose. Now you can decide, do you want to keep the knees together? Do you want to open them up? This is going to be each person's preference. Do you want the arms to be in front of you? Do you want to bring them to the side? You could have, if they're in front of you, palms face down. If they're to the sides, palms could face up. And they would be like behind you then, yes? And take the deep breath. So in yoga, it is so important. Why do we call it Hatha Yoga? Because we're balancing out the solar and lunar energies. So, whenever we do, a deep back bend, as we just did, we must counter with a forward fold. So you know in classes, if you've gone to classes that are balancing properly, this would be the experience. So I didn't take you into a place where you just lay flat in a neutral spine. No, because we just did an intense back bend. We must go to the counter. And here again, enjoy the breath. Now we'll inhale and we'll come forwards back onto the belly. Slowly lowering yourself down, breathing as you do. We don't want to forget our pranayama. The same breath. Now this time we're going to bring the legs together, just as we did before. We're going to go into what is called Ardha Salabhasana. So it's a half locust. So take the left arm forwards, straighten it out, straight, palm down, so right by your ear. So your left arm is by your ear. Take your right arm down to your side. Palm down. Good. So left arm forwards, palm down. Right arm to your side, palm down. I'm doing it on the left side first here, okay? So we're going to work with that lunar side here. Normally I would do the right side, but today I felt like left. So I'm listening to intuition. So we're going to take an inhale now, and we're going to, now chin stays on the floor the whole time, so just remember that. So take an inhale, raise left arm and right leg. Engage the quads, the glutes, the triceps. Left arm, right leg, that's it, chin on the floor. Larger inhales, smaller exhales. Larger inhales, smaller exhales. You know why is that? Because if you let all the air out, you will collapse. Same deep Darth Vader yogic breath, sound of C, and lower down. Switch. Right arm in front, left arm to side. Squeeze the legs together. You can inhale and raise right arm and left leg. Chin on the floor. Straighten the arms, straighten the leg, extend the toes, point away from you. How are we doing? Isn't this lovely? Keep going. Lengthen, stretch, raise the leg up a little more. Glutes engaged. And lower down on the exhale. Push back into child's pose. Slowly, slowly. Keep the knees together, open them up. What feels good and right to you? Sit hips on heels. Adjust the arms, bring the forehead down, third eye to the mat. Allow for the deep belly breath. You can probably feel it pressing against your thighs or in between them. Ask yourself what's happening now. What are you aware of? And inhales forward, coming back to the belly. Legs come together again. Now, adjusting if you need to. So this is always one of those things. Sometimes males we have to adjust lower down, females we have to adjust up above. So just find yourself comfortable. But stretch out with your arms. So we're going to go into what's called full locust purna salabhasana. So some people say porno salabhasana because it helps them remember, but it is purna. So purna salabhasana, full locust. So the arms stretch straight out from the shoulders, palms down. Chin is on the mat. Now this time we will raise the chin up, okay? So, first, legs together, we're going to take an inhale, begin to contract from the toes all the way up to the crown. Inhale, raise everything up. Chest up, arms up, legs up, inhales, chest up, exhale, you can raise legs up higher. Keep going, glutes engaged, keep going. Larger inhales, smaller exhales, hands up, top to head level if you can. Deep belly breath. Sometimes it helps here to bring the fingers together. Inhaling and exhaling. But don't let all the air out. So larger inhales, smaller exhales. Focus on third eye, focus on breath. That's it, good. Exhales, lower down. Push it back into child's pose. What are you aware of now? So those are some pretty strong back bends, even when we're laying down. Back to the breath. Deep yogic belly breath. What are you aware of now? Perhaps I'm glad I didn't have a big breakfast. Soften as much as you can. And if the mind is wandering, bring it back to the breath, bring it back to the third eye, and to be a part of what's happening now. Awareness. What's happening now? Now we're going to move into half tortoise, but I always like to give ourselves a little extra here. So, while the head is still down, you can bring the arms forward and bring your knees together as best as you can. Stretching forward. Now take your hands together and cross just the thumbs. Arms are with ears now. Just the thumbs are crossed, palms together. And we're going to begin with an inhale, and you can engage your core and come up. Arms, torso, head, slowly rising up. So lengthening up, lengthening up. Now we're going to stretch up. Now we'll go into the full posture of half tortoise. So we're inhale, lengthening up, palms together, arms with ears. You can do this with eyes closed if you like. I always recommend it. Inhale, but if eyes are open, that's fine. Inhales, lengthen up to the heavens. Now slowly come down with a neutral, flat spine. Engage your core, abdominals in. Breathing as you come down. So even though we're breathing, we're still keeping the belly in a bit. Coming down slowly, slowly, slowly. Try to touch pinkies first, then third eye. Pinkies and third eye. That's it. No wrists or arms to the floor on this one. Inhales. Now maybe head doesn't come down. That's fine. Pinky should. Inhale, stretch. You still have your hips on your heels if possible. There's modifications we can do. We'll talk later. Inhale, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Exhale, soften. Hips to heels. Inhales, we stretch. Exhales, hips to heels. So just find your own experience with the breath here. Inhale, you can stretch a little more forwards. Exhale, soften. You'll feel a little bit of sliding back. Inhale, a little bit of stretch. Exhale, a little bit of retraction. Excellent. Now on the next inhale, we're slowly going to come up, arms with ears, inhaling up, flat spine, tummy in. Belly still expands on the inhale, but you're still engaging. And then we can let arms float out and down to the side. Straight, straight. Slowly, slowly coming down. They're migrating down. So nice. And from here, we're going to move into our camel. Now, come onto your knees. If you need to put a blanket under your knees because they're sensitive on the floor, do so. But we want the knees to be hips width apart. And we're going to line the feet up behind the knees. You can...
Mine does this. I don't know if that would help. And I am doing...
You can curl the toes under if you feel you need extra height. Now the hands will come to the backside as if we had jean pockets, the fingers pointing down. So this is Ustrasana. Now for some of us, we're already in camel right now, and we could stay right here. So it depends upon where we're ready to go. So inhales and you lengthen up through the crown of the head. And on the exhales, you begin to engage the glutes and push the hips forwards, letting the head go back. So we're starting to arc the torso, the chest rising to the sky. Inhales, sternum rises up to the heavens. Exhale, glutes engage, push hips forwards. We keep the glutes engaged the whole time. Inhale, sternum rises, lower head back. Exhale, push hips forwards. Inhale, sternum rises. Exhale, push hips forward. Now for some of us, maybe we can see the back wall now. If you can't, that's fine. Don't worry about it. The glutes are engaged. Now you may say, if you can see the back wall or feel you've really rounded a lot, you can take the right hand back and you can get a hold of the right heel and then the left hand, one hand at a time. You want to still support the back, okay? So if you're just looking at me right now, for those of you online, maybe, and you try to get as full a grip as possible on the heels. Press hips forward, very important, glutes engaged. Let the head go back if you can. This opens up the throat chakra, the heart chakra, manipura, solar plexus. Keep going. Engage the glutes, push hips forward, nice. So that's why I say you could just stay here with the hands as I'm demonstrating now. Inhale, sternum rises, exhale, round. Now we'll slowly come out of it. Inhale, bring one hand up, right hand maybe, and then left. Then on the next inhale, torso, exhale, sit back in child's pose. So it's very important to sit back in child's pose after camel. However your child's pose is, legs together, legs apart, but hips to heels. Third eye to the ground. Arms could be forwards or to your sides. So camel is an intense heart opener, throat opener. And it very much expands the solar plexus. That manipura chakra. What are you aware of now? So we're going to follow with Sasangasana, rabbit. The nice thing about rabbit is it is a rounding posture, so it also helps to counter camel, Ustrasana. So we'll slowly begin to walk our hands back, coming onto our heels with our hips, sitting or bringing our knees together if we can. And again, patting under knees if you need it. So here, we'll take an inhale and we're going to raise our arms out to the side. And this is just to help you orient. So like in bow pose, it's important about where the hands are. So we're going to slowly lower down the hands, not twisting, rotating in the shoulder. And you will come behind. So see how my hands are moving? I'm going to get a hold of my heels. Now some of us maybe can't reach, so we have to hold our bottom, okay? But what I'm not doing is this. So do you see the rotation and I demonstrate that with my elbow and my shoulder? I'm rolling in and I don't want that. I want to come this way. And the reason is we don't want to torque elbow and shoulder in this posture. So we're going to inhale and lengthen up. And on the exhale, we're slowly going to begin to tuck chin and round down, trying to bring the crown of the head to the mat and the forehead to the knees. So you can breathe inhales and exhales as you come down slowly. Top of the head to the floor. Now we're still holding our heels, maybe our bottom. Okay? But once you come down, now maybe you can adjust. Maybe you can get your heels now. All right, now we're holding the heels firmly. We're going to take an inhale and we're going to raise the hips up. Hips come up to the sky, so you come off your heels. Feet are on the floor. Pulling on the heels, inhales we pull, exhales we round. Top of the head to the floor. Only 10 to 20% of the weight in the head. That is one of the reasons why we hold the heels. Keep going. Inhales, pull, raise hips, exhale. Inhales, pull, exhale, raise hips, round. If you lost contact with forehead and the knees, you can walk. We're still holding heels, walk right knee up and left knee up. Still rounding. Keep going. Continue with the breath, deep belly breath. And don't worry, we'll work through all this in clinic. Keep going. Deep inhales, deep exhales. Inhales we pull, exhales we round, we raise hips. Now on the next inhale, holding heels, inhale coming up, chin tuck, pulling on heels, chin tuck, head comes up last. Lengthen through the spine. You can release the hands, and some of you can just walk back just a little bit with the arms and lower the head back just to counter that for a moment. You don't even have to lower the head back if you don't want to, but it can feel nice. Sometimes it might be a little overwhelming, so you just want to keep it up. And then we'll come back to neutral. And now we're going to move, excuse me, we're going to move in to our half Lord of the Fishes. So what I'd like you to do, and I'll turn around, well, probably easier for the folks recording behind. So we're seated right now, but take your left leg, so just bend at the knee, is probably already, and we're going to extend our right leg around and bring the ankle to the outside of the knee. Now we're going to test this. This is not the only thing you can do. So first I want to see how you can do here. So we have right ankle right up at the top of the left knee. Now some of us can't get our sits bones down. You can reach behind you with your hands and say, do I want my sits bones down on the floor? And if they're not, if you're cocked up like this, then what we can do is we will adjust. We will take the left leg straight. And you'll flex your toes to your face. Now your sits bones should be down, right? So this is your posture for half Lord of the Fishes, Ardha Matsyendrasana. So for those of us that can do it the other way, then we do it the other way. So we have choices. So from here, we're going to take the left arm behind us, and we find the midline of the back, right? And you'll place down, the fingers point away from you, and we're going to lengthen up through the torso. Well, let me rephrase that. It's the right arm, sorry. Switch arms, right arm, lengthening up, and then the left arm, you can raise up to the sky. Now, with the left arm, we have choices again. So especially if you have your legs straight, I recommend you just hug the knee, okay? You can also try elbow to knee as I'm demonstrating here. And some of you, if you're feeling really very flexible, you can lower the left arm down so you have the elbow against the right knee, but you're lowering down. You can, with your hand, you can get a hold of the left knee. We're going to lengthen up on the inhale, so find your posture with the arm, your grip. Inhale and lengthen up. On the exhale, begin to twist, turning head, looking over right shoulder. Inhales, you stretch up to the heavens. Exhales, you twist from low spine through middle of spine to upper spine. Start with the sacrum, the lumbar, then through thoracic, and then through cervical. Inhales, you lengthen. Exhales, you twist. Now here you might even say, very nice, okay. But maybe I want to turn my head to the left. Feel free, try it. If you turn the head to the left, now you have cervical spine going one way, sacral, lumbar, thoracic going the other way. If you don't like it, don't do it. Just turn this right with all three parts of the spine. And then you can release. Now to release, we just unwrap. Sometimes it's nice to turn the other way. And then we'll come back. Now we're going to do the other side, but the fun part about this is if you like to be a circus performer, you can take your hands to the outside, to the left side, and we're slowly going to lean forward a little bit towards into the hands and gently raise the hips up. And then we walk around just with the hands. We haven't raised ourselves up, and we miraculously come around to the other side. And if that's not in it for you, yes?
If I was straight with this side, is
Okay.
it okay if I do it the other way? Because this is my bad knee, so.
Yes.
Or should I do both ways?
Do
like
do
this?
both legs straight.
Okay.
Do both legs straight. You're getting the same benefit for the spine. When you have straight legs, you actually have an added benefit because you're stretching the hamstrings.
Oh, okay.
So you see, so if you do have straight legs, you get that added benefit. So here again, we have ankle to knee, okay? Now, if we have to straighten out the right leg, we straighten out the right leg, all right? Left arm comes behind. How do we know? We check, can we get our sits bones down? So sometimes we adjust around, so now mine are down. Left hand behind you, and once you have it, fingers pointing behind. Straight up, come across, do what you did on the other side, hug, bend, straighten, whatever you did. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, looking over left shoulder, begin your twist. Nice. And if you have a straight leg, flex toes to face. That will stretch those hamstrings. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale as we twist. Inhales, lengthening. Exhales, twisting. Adjusting anything as you feel is appropriate. Try to keep the full sole of the left foot onto the floor. For those of you that wanted to turn the head to the right, try it if you like it. So cervical spine going one way, thoracic, sacral lumbar the other. Twisting from low through middle to upper. Inhale as we lengthen. Exhale as we twist. Keep going. And then on the exhale, release. Slowly unwrap, perhaps turning to the right. Ah, so nice. And we'll lie down on our backs. Come into Dandasana first, staff pose. So staff pose, we have staff pose, planks, mini Dandasanas. So first bring the feet together, then the arms up overhead. Now you can interlace your fingers if you like, or you could just bring the palms together, cross the thumbs, or you can keep the arms separate. What I would like you to try here is to take a big inhale and stretch. Lengthen through the toes away from you, lengthen through the fingers away from you. You'll feel a beautiful stretch down the whole body. Exhale, softening into the mat. Inhales and lengthen. Exhales and soften. Inhales and lengthen, exhales and soften. And now we'll just take a couple of more breaths, but point the toes away from you, extend them away. Turn the palms down to the floor. Turn the palms down to the floor. Inhales and feel the lengthening. Exhales, see if you can press the soles of the feet towards the floor a little more, pointing toes away. Lengthen through the arms, press down to the palms. Deep breath, stretching, stretching, lengthening. And then on the exhale, relaxing. We'll go into wind removing pose, arms to the sides. Now from here, bend the right leg up, interlace the fingers 2 inches below the right knee. 2 inches, the fingers interlaced. That includes thumbs. Relax the feet on the right foot. You can flex the left toes towards you. Let the shoulders draw down the back. Inhales and pull the right leg straight up from the hip, straight up from the hip. Compressing the right side of the abdominal cavity. So we reference this as the ascending side of the colon. Set the shoulders down back. We pull on inhales and exhales. So the same deep yogic breath. Pulling on inhale, pulling on exhale. Close the eyes if you can. Ask yourself what's happening now. Then you can release, letting the right leg slowly come down. And we'll raise left leg up. Interlacing fingers 2 inches below the knee on the left. Flex the right toes to the face, straighten that right leg, and inhale, hug, and draw left leg straight up from the hip. So you're holding the shin with the hands, setting the shoulders down and back, Relax the left foot. Why have extra tension? The right foot is flexed, but the left foot is relaxed. Saving that ojas, prana. Inhales we pull, exhales we pull. So biceps work continuously here. And exhale, releasing down. Now we'll take an inhale, bringing both legs up. Exhale, wrapping the arms around the legs. Now I encourage you, and we could do different things. Just interlace your fingers. But if you feel that you have long arms and you can reach across the legs and you can get a hold of opposite elbows, maybe you want to do that, okay? But the key here is that the shoulders come down to the mat. Now some of us can't even get our fingers together maybe, so we just hold our shins. Right hand to right shin, left to left. But whatever you can do, I want you to draw the shoulders down, set them down on your mat. Inhales and begin to hug and squeeze. Exhales, continue to hug and squeeze. Now we're working with the transverse colon and really the entire abdominal cavity as we hug and we squeeze. Deep belly breath. You can feel the belly expand and press into the floor, into the legs, and you can feel the legs pressing into the belly. Excellent. And then on the exhale, releasing down, feet to floor. Feet hips width apart, touch your heels with your fingertips. We're going into bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. So the key here is that the knees point to the heavens, the feet are firmly on the floor. Touch your fingertips to your heels. And you know you have the proper alignment, feet hips width apart. Now we try to keep the knees pointing to the heavens and not splaying out, so we're not going into butterfly. So as you're ready, take an inhale and slowly begin to raise the hips up. Slowly raising the hips up. Take it slow. Inhaling, the hips start to come up. You're pressing down to the feet. You're engaging the glutes. Using your abdominals to some degree. Quads engaging. Keep raising hips up. Lengthening through the neck. Crown of the head stretching. Inhales, we lengthen. Exhales, raise hips higher. Now eventually we're trying to get the hips to come up at least as high as the knees. Knees again, straight ahead. So everything from ankles to knees to hips are all in alignment with the shoulders. So that's why you can tell, are my knees turning out on me? And as we heard yesterday, not a good idea. Keep coming up. Coming up. Now, if you happen to have raised up and you want to bring the arms underneath you, you can interlace the fingers and you can draw the shoulders in and set them back and down. Engage those glutes, press hips upwards, breathing deeply. So here we are in bridge. Maybe sailboats are traveling underneath you. Maybe the bridge isn't high enough yet. So we can add some other dimensions to this. So first we just make sure that we are set. We have a very strong foundation. Glutes engaged, we raise the hips up as high as the knees, and we could just stay here. But if some of you want to raise the bridge, you can take an inhale and you could raise the right leg up, stretching it, lengthening, toes pointing away from you to the heavens. You could hold that for a while, but hips are still up. And you can eventually lower right leg down and you could switch. You say, oh, very cool. The hips are up. And you've alternated. Now maybe you say, okay, that was interesting. What else could I do? Okay, well, there's more. You could take an inhale as Ali was doing yesterday in class. Come onto the toes. Raise the heels up off the floor. And this is quite nice for the calves. Do this for a minute or two and you will feel this the rest of the day. Engage your glutes. Press the hips up, work those quads a bit. Breathe deep belly breaths. And if you're up on the toes, we'll just lower the heels now. Then bring the arms out from underneath you and slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time. We'll move into happy baby now. You can bend the legs up. You reach with the arms in between the legs. Get a hold of big toes with middle and index fingers. And then extend the legs. Elbows on the inside of the legs. You can rock side to side, blow bubbles, make fun sounds. Whatever feels right to you. Deep belly breath. Close your eyes. Who doesn't want Ananda Balasana? It's kind of like samadhi. And then eventually we'll come back. Maybe you want to give yourself one final bear hug, just wrapping your arms around your legs, maybe not. Who knows? And then you can lower the feet and the legs and the arms down to the sides for corpse pose, Savasana. Let the feet open up. Relax. The arms come away from the sides a bit. And feel the imprint now, the integration. What are you aware of now? What changed for you since the beginning?